What if the moon disappeared? Go outside tonight and look up. The moon hangs there, the same pale face it has shown us for as long as anyone has been alive to look. It feels permanent, background, a thing you would notice only if it were gone. So let us take it away, not slowly. Imagine that tomorrow morning the moon is simply not there. The disaster movie version of this is loud. Oceans freezing, earth tumbling, the end of life. And almost all of it is wrong, or at least exaggerated. The truth is stranger and slower, and the part that should actually worry you is not the part the movies pick. Start with the thing everyone expects, the tides. The moon's gravity pulls on the ocean, raising a bulge of water on the side facing it and another on the far side. As Earth turns through those bulges, coastlines get 2 high tides and 2 low tides a day. So lose the moon, and the tides must vanish, right? Not quite. The sun raises tides too. They are smaller because although the sun is vastly more massive, it is also vastly farther away, and tides depend on the difference in gravity across Earth, which falls off sharply with distance. The moon produces a little more than twice the tidal pull of the sun. So without the moon, tides would not disappear. They would shrink to roughly 1/3 of their strength, driven by the sun alone. The great churning of coastal water, the mixing of nutrients, the rhythm that tide pools and migrating fish and shorebirds are built around would weaken, but it would not stop. That is the first surprise. The moon is not the on-off switch for the ocean. It is more like the volume knob. Now here is the danger the movies miss. It has nothing to do with water. It has to do with the tilt of the Earth. Our planet does not spin upright. It leans by about 23.5 degrees. That lean is the reason you have seasons. Through the year, first one hemisphere tips toward the sun, then the other. And that angle has stayed remarkably steady for a very long time. In 1993, the French astronomer Jacques Laskar ran the numbers on what keeps it steady. Using long-term models of the solar system, he and his colleagues showed that the moon acts like a stabilizer for Earth's tilt, holding it within a narrow band of about 1 or 2 degrees. Take the moon away, Laskar found, and that tilt could become chaotic. Over millions of years, it might wander wildly, possibly swinging across tens of degrees. Think about what a large tilt would do. If Earth leaned far over, the poles would cook in summer and freeze in a sunless winter. Whole continents could swing from desert to ice and back, not on a human timescale, but in slow, brutal lurches. Mars may show us the warning. Lacking a big moon, its tilt is thought to have swung dramatically over its history, helping to drive the planet's wild climate swings. The moon, it turns out, is less a lamp in our sky and more a gyroscope holding our seasons in place. There is a catch worth being honest about. Later studies have argued that an Earth without a moon might not be quite as chaotic as the first models suggested, especially depending on how fast the planet spins. The exact size of the danger is still debated, but the basic insight has held. Our moon is a major reason our climate has been stable enough, for long enough, for complex life to settle in. If that sounds abstract, the moon has left a clock you can actually read, and it is hidden inside coral. The moon does not only steady our tilt, it also slows our spin. The same tidal bulges that the moon raises in the ocean get dragged slightly ahead by Earth's rotation, and their gravity tugs backward on the planet, breaking it by a tiny amount every year. The day is getting longer. We can measure how fast. Lasers fired from Earth bounce off reflectors that Apollo astronauts and Soviet landers left on the lunar surface, and they show the moon drifting away from us by about 3.8 centimeters a year. As it retreats, our spin keeps slowing. Run that backward and the deep past gets strange. Hundreds of millions of years ago, the day was shorter and the year held more of them. And we can check this, because some corals lay down a fine growth band every single day, bundled into yearly cycles. In the 1960s, the paleontologist John Wells counted the daily bands in fossil corals from the Devonian period, around 400 million years ago, and found close to 400 days in their year. Not because the year was longer, but because each day was shorter, only about 22 hours. The moon has been stretching our days, hour by hour, across geologic time. Lose it, and that long breaking ends. The day would freeze near its present length instead of slowly growing. Then there is the night itself. A full moon is the brightest thing in the night sky, bright enough to throw a shadow, bright enough to read large print by. Remove it and the night becomes far darker, lit only by stars and the faint glow of the Milky Way. For us, that means a darker walk to the car. For the living world, it means something deeper, because a surprising number of animals run their lives by moonlight. In 2003, the biologist Marie Dacky and her colleagues showed that African dung beetles steer in straight lines using light from the moon, and even on moonless nights, by the dim band of the Milky Way. Many corals time their once-a-year mass spawning to particular phases of the moon, releasing eggs and sperm together on cue. Some birds migrate and some predators hunt on schedules tuned to lunar light. Take the moon out of the sky, and you do not just dim the night. You pull out a signal that light has been reading for hundreds of millions of years. And we would lose something you cannot eat or measure, but would miss at once: the eclipse. A total solar eclipse happens because of a coincidence that sounds almost too neat to be real. The sun is about 400 times wider than the moon, and it also happens to sit about 400 times farther away. So in our sky, the two look almost exactly the same size, which is why the moon can slide perfectly across the sun and turn day briefly into an eerie twilight ringed with fire. No other planet in the solar system has a moon that fits its sun so precisely. Lose the moon, and that perfect alignment is gone forever. Here is the quiet part of that story. Even if we keep the moon, the eclipse is already leaving. Because the moon is drifting away at those 3.8 centimeters a year, it is slowly shrinking in our sky. In something like 600 million years, it will appear too small to cover the sun completely, and total eclipses will end on their own. We are living inside a narrow window when the sizes happen to match. It will not last. It is worth remembering where the moon came from, because its birth was the opposite of gentle. The leading explanation, the giant impact hypothesis, says that more than 4 billion years ago, a Mars-sized body, sometimes called Theia, slammed into the young Earth. The collision threw a ring of molten debris into orbit, and out of that wreckage, the moon pulled itself together. The thing that now steadies our seasons, paces our days, and lights our nights was born from the most violent event in our planet's history. So let us be honest about the question, the way the strongest version of any story has to be. The moon is not going to vanish. There is no force that simply deletes a body that size. This is a thought experiment, and parts of it, especially how chaotic the tilt would really get, are still argued over by scientists. But the experiment does something useful. It shows you what the moon has quietly been doing all along. It is not just a light. It is a brake that has been lengthening your day. It is a stabilizer that has held the planet's tilt steady enough for forests and seasons and you. It is a tide engine, a calendar that corals and beetles read, and a coincidence beautiful enough to stop a sky. None of that announces itself. It just holds. So the next time you glance up and barely register it, remember that the most important things in a system are often the ones you stop noticing. The moon is the thing you would only thank by losing it. And the strangest part is that, in the slowest possible way, we are losing it, 3.8 centimeters at a time.